Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. The text came in at 9:42 p.m., while my wife was in the shower and the house hummed with that familiar fragile quiet. He's funny when he's cruel. You should have seen your face tonight. No name. No context. Just that. I stared at the screen until the words blurred, my thumb hovering as if I might wipe them away by touching the glass. The bathroom fan roared. Water hissed against tile. Steam curled under the door like a secret trying to escape. I told myself it was a prank. Wrong number. A bad joke sent to the wrong man. But my chest didn't believe that lie. I locked the phone and set it face down the way you do when you don't want something to look back at you. When she stepped out wrapped in a towel, cheeks flushed, hair dripping, she smiled at me like nothing in the world was broken. Everything okay? She asked. Yeah, I said, and hated how easy the word sounded. Earlier that evening we'd been at her firm's annual mixer. String lights, rented smiles, the smell of wine and money. I'd stood beside her while she worked the room, my hand hovering near her back, unsure where I belonged. That's when he drifted over. Tall. Confident. The kind of man who speaks like he expects to be listened to. He looked me up and down, then laughed. Not a joke, an assessment. So you're the husband, he said, voice loud enough to pull attention. I thought you'd be bigger. A ripple of laughter followed. Glasses clinked. Someone snorted. I felt my ears burn. My wife smiled, tight and quick, eyes darting away. She didn't correct him. Didn't defend me. She just took a sip of her drink and let it pass. I'd smiled too. Reflex. Survival. I said nothing because saying nothing felt safer than saying the wrong thing in a room that already didn't feel like mine. On the drive home, she was quiet. On the radio, a love song we used to sing along to played, and neither of us touched the volume. The next few days were a study in small absences. Missed calls she returned hours later. Her phone lighting up face down on the counter, vibrating like a trapped insect. When I asked about her day, she answered with summaries instead of stories. Fine. Busy. Same. I told myself this was stress. Promotion season. Long hours. I told myself I was paranoid because of one stupid text. Then I found the thread. I wasn't snooping. I was looking for a recipe she'd saved on her tablet. The screen lit up with notifications, her messages mirrored across devices. Names blurred past until one stopped me cold. Evanwork. He noticed you didn't say anything. Thought it was cute. Next time I'll be gentler. Promise. My mouth went dry. I scrolled, slow and deliberate, like moving through a minefield. Her replies were careful. Never explicit. But intimacy lives in tone, not words. You didn't have to do that. He's sensitive. Please don't push him. Sensitive. There it was, that thin blade of shame sliding between my ribs. I set the tablet down and sat at the kitchen table, hands flat, feeling like a guest in my own life. That night in bed I watched her sleep. I traced the familiar lines of her face and felt memories rise up like ghosts. Late-night takeout, whispered jokes, the way she used to reach for my hand in crowds. I wondered which moments were still real, and which had been rehearsals for something else. The next invitation came a week later. Another work event. Casual, she said. You don't have to come if you're tired. I went anyway. The room buzzed. Music thumped softly. Laughter rose and fell like waves. Evan found us quickly, confidence intact. He leaned in too close to her, eyes flicking to me. There he is, he said. The strong, silent type. More laughter. A few people glanced at me with curiosity, like I was an exhibit. Something in me clicked, not rage exactly. Clarity. I felt my heartbeat slow. I smiled the same way I had before, but this time it wasn't armor. It was choice. You're right, I said calmly. I don't talk much. I listen. The room tilted toward us. And listening, I continued, voice steady, has taught me something interesting about respect. It's usually demanded by people who don't offer it. Silence fell thick, uncomfortable. Evan's smile faltered. My wife stared at me, eyes wide, like she was seeing a stranger. I hope, I added, that's not the culture you're building here. I excused myself then. Not dramatic. Just done. At home the confrontation came quietly. No yelling. No slammed doors. She cried. She admitted she liked the attention. that she hadn't planned for it to go anywhere until it already had. Emotionally, she said, like that made it safer. I never touched him, she whispered. I believed her. And it didn't matter. Betrayal isn't always skin on skin. Sometimes it's laughter you don't stop, silence you allow, texts you don't delete because you like how they make you feel. We sat on the couch until dawn, the space between us heavy with everything unsaid. I told her how small I'd felt, how alone, how the insult hadn't hurt half as much as her smile afterward. I didn't know how to handle it, she said. I did, I replied softly. I stayed. In the end, there was no villain speech, no clean break, just a decision. I asked for time, space, counseling if we were going to try, boundaries that weren't negotiable. Some people at her firm avoided me after that. Others nodded with a new respect. Evan transferred teams. As for us, we're rebuilding slowly, honestly, or we're learning how to let go with dignity. I don't know yet which story this becomes. What I do know is this. The moment they laughed wasn't the moment I lost myself. It was the moment I found my voice.